Queridos amigos, muy buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde hermosa 1470 AM, 96.9 FM, caféconlecheradio.com. Les habla Lilia Galindo, me acompaña Michael Dutton y tenemos el día de hoy de invitadas de la escuela de Highland High School, a Lisa Simonian y Christy Chacon. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Now, do you know pronounce your name correctly, please?
You did a great job. My name is Lisa Simonian, and I'm the Vice Principal of Activities at Highland High School.
Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Michael Dutton is here.
With me I have Christy Chacon as well.
And good morning, Christy.
Hello, Christy. Well, we have
Good morning.
Michael Dutton here. You for sure you know about him. He was the founder of the
Soar High
School and also previous
former board member.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and former principal. Well, I did a whole lot of time in the high school district, about 30 years.
Yes, Dr. Grado talks fondly about you.
Oh, Chris, yes, indeed.
Well, welcome. We are going to start, Lisa. Tell us a little bit about you and your functions and what are we going to talk about today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to let us speak with you about Highland High School. We have a lot of different programs here and opportunities for students to get involved in different academic opportunities, from mock trial to also, of course, we're going to talk briefly about our Public Service Academy. I'll let Ms. Chacon talk about that. We also have a strong EL program with support for our students who are second language learners or language other than English. We have clubs and opportunities for students to delve deeper into the arts as well and support our community, from Key Club to being a part of our ASB or Associated Student Body.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a diverse campus. We're about 68% Latino, 16% African American, and we have a lot of different ethnicities and cultures represented on our campus as well. We're excited for Hispanic Heritage Month to be coming upon us again this year. I know it spans from September 15th to October 15th. Last year we had a lot of diverse programming activities planned around Hispanic Heritage Month. We had our ASB did a full week of Spirit Week celebrating the various cultures and contributions of those from different Latin heritage. Our English classes did different cultural Hispanic curriculum, even our engineering classes, our media arts, PE. A lot had to do with celebrating the contributions of Hispanics throughout the different genres and departments, from science and Spanish, and then even in whether that was in our special education program and even in clubs such as our Link Crew doing, of course, last year virtual, so we were able to do like a virtual Hispanic Heritage Movie Night. We even did virtual Heritage Slam, so students got to celebrate their heritage and talk about people who are meaningful in their lives. In our social studies department, we talked about different contributions of Hispanic individuals.
Lisa, give me a little break, because it's a lot to translate.
I apologize, of course.
No, I wonder if Christy Chacon also speaks Spanish or no?
No, she does not.
No way, José. I was thinking, well, okay. Bueno, nos está hablando Lisa, ella es la subdirectora de la escuela Highland High School y nos está hablando de los programas que esta escuela tiene, de los de demografía también. Dice que tienen este programa donde se hace un proceso como de un juicio judicial. También tienen un programa de aprendices de inglés, un programa de arte. Y dice que en la demografía aproximadamente 68% de los estudiantes son hispanos y el 16% son afroamericanos. Dice que se celebra en el mes de septiembre, del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre, el mes de la herencia hispana, y bueno, que organizan varios eventos para celebrarlo. Y ahora, dice, están en las ofreciendo clases de inglés para todos los que necesitan. Tienen un programa de ingeniería, un programa de también de media, y dice que también se ha estado todavía usando la educación virtual a través de todo este tiempo, y se les ha estado apoyando a todos los estudiantes. Now, do you want to add something else, or can we ask you something?
Yeah.
You're welcome to ask questions.
Well, I was kind of curious. There was a couple of programs that were staples of Highland High School that I didn't hear, and that was sort of do you still have the cybersecurity program?
We do not at this time.
Okay. And the DHH, the deaf, hard of hearing?
We very much do have a strong deaf, hard of hearing program,
Okay.
and we have a strong ASL, or American Sign Language, program for our students who are both, maybe they're deaf, hard of hearing, and also are other students who want to learn the language and culture as well. It's very
Right.
popular here.
And American Sign Language qualifies as a foreign language for college entrance as well.
Oh, very
That
good.
is correct.
Yeah, and you had a Air Force ROTC program that was very strong. You still have that?
We definitely still have that program as well.
Very good. Well, I'm glad to hear some of the old stuff is still there, because it's very important, and it served the needs of a lot of students in the Antelope Valley. And the Air Force ROTC was our first junior ROTC program in the district. So it's got some legs, and it's been around for quite some time.
Bueno, le estaba preguntando Michael si todavía tienen el programa para los que tienen problemas para oír, o ya sea que estén sordos o que no, o que les sea muy difícil el escuchar bien, y también el programa de lenguaje de señales. Y dice Michael que este programa se considera a nivel internacional como una segunda lengua. También se habló del programa donde se les prepara con una orientación militar a todos los jóvenes. Dicen que es un programa muy sólido. Así es que todo sigue muy bien. Now I want to ask you, how are we still having problems with COVID, and how are you dealing with that situation?
Any concerns that has to do with health goes through our health office. Our school site has a district nurse on campus and a health tech, and so we're able to respond in that manner.
And are we in presential classes or only virtual classes?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Are the students going to school, like presential classes?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
we are
doing.
in person.
we're
We
doing
go
in
to
person,
school in
yeah.
person. Students wear masks on campus, and they do a great job with that.
Mhm.
Very good.
Cool. I have a question relative to the COVID, and that is that there seems to be a surge in cases, and it's particularly with the Delta strain with young people. Are you seeing a rise or a change in the health disposition of the student body, or is it maintaining a pretty even keel?
It appears to be a pretty even keel here.
Very good. Good. I hope there are no surges then.
Bueno, estamos hablando con Highland High School y es acerca de el COVID, como si ha habido algún problema últimamente. Dice no, que se mantiene bastante estable la situación, así es que están los jóvenes ya en clases presenciales, pero bueno, pues con esta excelente oportunidad de aprender mejor. Now, let us speak a little bit with Christy, please. Christy, tell us a little bit about your role in the in the Highland High School.
Sure. So my role is I'm the academy coordinator for a academy on our campus called the Public Service Academy. And this is an academy geared towards students that are pursuing a career in law enforcement, in firefighting, or anything in the medical field.
Ella es la coordinadora de la Academia de Servicios Públicos y esta academia es para todos aquellos que se quieren dedicar a la carrera de enforzamiento de la ley, o sea, ser oficiales de la policía o del sheriff o de California Highway Patrol, etcétera, y también bomberos y también este servicio de emergencia de primera respuesta.
Christy, I've got a question about the Public Service Academy. Does the Public Service Academy focus on the hospitality element in their program?
I wouldn't say we focus on the hospitality. It is a public service industry sector, so the students are really focusing on career pathways.
Mm-hmm.
And the students are doing internships, and they're getting real-world experience working with industry personnel throughout the remainder of the school year.
Well, the reason why I ask is that the quote-unquote hospitality element is particularly near and dear to my heart in terms of any public service academy or any public service in and of itself, including education, law enforcement, and others, constantly in contact with the public, and that hospitality element, in other words, your quote-unquote bedside manner or professional acumen, if you will, and how you deal with the public is very important.
So that the students definitely are getting exposed to the way that we want them to treat others, cultural diversity, exposure, empathy. Those are traits that we are teaching through the whole duration of the program. So absolutely, that is near and dear to anything to do with working with the public and being a public servant.
Excellent, excellent. Because that, to me, that's the human focus on public service, as far as I'm concerned, and that is the relationship between the servicee, if you will, and the servicer.
Yeah, because if you are not nice with people, what kind of public service is that? No?
Well, you end up with police brutality and other things.
Yeah, this is why. But then it's not public service.
Yeah.
We are going to take a break and we will be back. Cuando regresamos traducimos.
That's such an important element that, you know, the hospitality and the relationship is, to me, is very important stuff that has to be a part of the program.
Los ancianos y aquellos con diabetes o
Good, I'm glad to hear they're doing it.
están en riesgo. Protéjase, desagüe las aguas estancadas, mantenga vacías las piscinas y utilice al amanecer y al anochecer repelentes de insectos con DEET. Reporte pájaros muertos al 1-877-968-2473.
See, I keep thinking I should go this way.
877-968-2473. Visite AVUHSD.org. Hey, ¿tuviste un accidente? ¿Te lastimaste y no le has llamado al abogado Ángel Campano? Llámale ahora mismo al 661-945-5300. Él ha sido elegido por 2 años consecutivos como el mejor abogado del Valle del Antílope. Su número 661-945-5300. ¿Está el volumen alto? 661-945-5300. Ángelo Campano, el abogado en quien la comunidad confía. Las elecciones para decidir si se destituye al gobernador de California son el 14 de septiembre de 2021. Todos los votantes activos registrados recibirán una boleta de voto por correo. Así que revise su buzón, conteste las 2 preguntas en la boleta y mándela usando el sobre de envío ya prepagado. Puede enviar su boleta por correo, ponerla en un buzón de votación o en persona en su centro de votación local. Sepa más en vote.ca.gov. Good morning por la mañana. Buenos días a todos. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde Hermosa 1470, 96.9 FM, caféconlecheradio.com, Facebook Live. Y el día de hoy tenemos invitadas a personal de Highland High School. Es Lisa Simonian en Christy, Chacon. Ellas son integrantes. Lisa es la subdirectora de la escuela y Christy es la coordinadora de la Academia de Servicio Público. Y nos quedamos en eso. Michael, la pregunta de Michael era que si estaban enfocados en lo que se llamaba la hospitalidad cuando les dan clase a estos jóvenes que van a trabajar haciendo servicio público como policías, como oficiales de policía o como bomberos, etcétera. Y les estaba preguntando si tenían este tipo de entrenamiento para que la gente pues en verdaderamente dé un servicio público, es decir, un entrenamiento de cómo tratar bien cortésmente a la gente, de entenderla, de tener empatía, de conocer los diferentes grupos étnicos que hay en la comunidad para tener una mejor relación. Y dice que por supuesto que sí, esto nos dijo Christy Chacon, que sí, definitivamente es una de las bases más importantes porque queremos policías que no abusen de nadie. Okay, Michael, now I know that you want to ask something.
Oh, do you now?
Oh, I thought...
Okay. Well, I do. I mean, there's so much about Highland High School that I'm particularly interested in. Sometime back, the school itself used to have, a reputation for its athletics and how well it did in that area. And I'm more interested in the other elements of the program that services community. We've talked about a number of these with the cybersecurity. They used to have a law and government academy also. Is that still in existence at Highland?
So the Law and Government Academy has grown into the Public Service Academy.
Wow.
We're realizing that the Law and Government Academy was really good at influencing students who wanted to go into a law enforcement or legal practices route, but was really not encompassing the other students on the campus. So we opened it up to involve 3 different sectors so that we could reach a broader section of our population.
Oh, okay. So the public service is sort of an extension or a growth out of the old law and government. That's good. That's good. And I'm glad to see that you made that connection so that it broadens the impact on the community so kids can get into a lot of different things and go into a lot of different areas from that academy. Excellent. Thank you.
Bueno, Michael estaba preguntando sobre dice que Highland High School se ha distinguido siempre, o se había distinguido cuando él estaba como miembro de la mesa directiva, en su programa de atletismo donde salían deportistas muy destacados, pero que quiere saber acerca de otro programa que se llamaba La Ley y Gobierno. Este era un programa que incluía los que querían trabajar en el área legal y los que querían trabajar en el gobierno. Y lo que nos dice la subdirectora es que ahora ese programa ha evolucionado y ahora ese programa se llama Servicio Público, que incluye muchísimas otras áreas que solamente los abogados y ya nada más los empleados de gobierno. Ahora incluye a todos. Así es que qué interesante, qué interesante. So, do you know, I want to ask you, what did you learn during the COVID time that you think that was very important and has allowed you to do better now, teaching classes or dealing with the students? Like, do you think that you got any benefit of this time under the COVID situation?
Yes, I actually think our teachers really did an amazing job, what I call pivoting. Like, they moved really quickly from teaching in the classroom live with students to going virtual with them. And sometimes that was what we call synchronous. So students were live, virtual Google Classroom and a webcam and able to dialogue that way. And what we've learned from different opportunities in the virtual setting is ways to still be accessible to students even on days that maybe they can't make it to campus. Maybe they have, they're ill, but they could still access things through their Google Classroom. Things are listed and posted there. Students and teachers got better at working together in a virtual setting, which leads to a lot of different opportunities to doing group work, not only physically in person, but really adapting and understanding the technology that exists as well virtually.
Yeah.
That was one of the good things of the COVID.
Yeah, I really think, and this is not a question for you as much as it is some social dialogue here, but I really think that this COVID pandemic has changed the entire world and kicked us into the 21st century, kicking and screaming in a way that we didn't expect. But everybody has changed the manner in which they function, and technology has become a stronger element to our lifestyle than it was before. And I take my hat off to the Antelope Valley Union High School District, because I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that of all the school districts in the state of California, it was the most prepared for that pivot, as you call it, because it had acquired the technology, and it was what they didn't have, they got real quick, but they had most of what they needed already before the pandemic hit, so that it was a much easier transition. I believe we had over 100 teachers who were Google certified before the pandemic even hit. And so what a strong place to be in, and a strong leadership element the high school district had toward this distance learning, if you will, and the embracing of technology. I understand that in the high school district, every classroom has Promethean boards now. Is that correct?
Yes. So it's something that
before the pandemic,
really
that was not the case.
Okay.
Right. It's definitely a useful tool that all of our teachers enjoy using with the students, and it allows for a lot of interactivity with students to be able to use as well.
Well, I'm very proud to say I brought them to the district.
Oh, very good. Congratulations. Bueno, estamos hablando, amigos, de qué es lo que se ha aprendido en esta etapa del COVID. Le preguntaba a ellos si algo de lo que sucedió durante el tiempo donde se estuvieron manejando las clases virtualmente solamente podrá usarse en el futuro. Y dice, por supuesto que hemos aprendido muchísimo. Fue muchísimos maestros se incorporaron totalmente al sistema de dar clases a través de Google, de usar las cámaras web, de tener grupos virtuales de trabajo, y por supuesto de estar siempre accesible a todos los estudiantes. Algunos que a veces se encontraban enfermos, pero todavía pueden participar en la clase, pues lo pueden hacer ahora a través de la computadora y sin tener que ir a la escuela a infectar a nadie más, ¿no? Dice, así es que esto ha sido fantástico. Y Michael Dutton estaba comentando que él está muy orgulloso del Untitled Chapter High School District, que sin lugar a dudas cree que ha sido el distrito mejor preparado para aterrizar en esta época de tecnología, porque ellos empezaron antes de que viniera el COVID a prepararse y hicieron todo lo posible para que estuvieran listos, de tal manera que la transición no fue tan difícil. Well, now, let's talk about enrollment. Are you okay? Do you have the same number of students that before? Do you have more? What's going on with enrollment?
I would say we have about the same, or maybe a little bit more. We're about 2,900 students here at Highland High School.
Well, that's just a tick short of 3,000.
Right.
Then are you open for enrollment now? If somebody is listening and still hasn't enrolled, can they do it now?
Sure.
Well, yes. Meaning if they haven't gone to school yet?
Yeah. Like, for example, some people go on vacations to Mexico and they take like 2 months or 3 months. And then they come back late and they still can enroll.
Sure.
If they haven't done. Okay.
Yeah, schools are open all the time. No, really. You can enroll anytime.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Bueno, así es que para todos los que si hay alguna persona que salió de vacaciones, que estamos acostumbrados que en México se cierra la inscripción y ya no hay, Aquí es diferente, aquí te van a admitir todo el tiempo. Así es que si salieron de vacaciones, apenas acaban de regresar, es hora de incorporarse a la escuela, no podemos perder la escuela de ninguna manera y ya.
Yeah, it's not recommended that you don't go to school, but if you need to get in from relocating or traveling or whatever reason you may have for not having been in school, you can enroll at any time.
Perfecto, así es que no se recomienda que falten a la escuela ni nada por el estilo, pero si por alguna razón estuvieron ausentes, se pueden incorporar ya a la escuela y continuar su educación. We are going to take a break and we will be back.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning about the Antelope Valley is that student population is increasing. They're concerned in other parts of the county because it's decreasing, but in the Antelope Valley it isn't.
Bicycle, private property place, or at a work accident, perhaps a dog bit you. Contact attorney Angelo Campana. He is prepared and ready to defend you. All consultations, meetings, and appointments are free, and you pay absolutely nothing if your case is not won. Call at 661-945-5300. 661-945-5300. Angelo Campana, the attorney whom the community trusts.
Las elecciones para decidir si se destituye al gobernador de California son el 14 de septiembre de 2021. Todos los votantes activos registrados recibirán una boleta de voto por correo. Así que revise su buzón, conteste las 2 preguntas en la boleta y mándela usando el sobre de envío ya prepagado. No olvide firmar el reverso. Puede enviar su boleta por correo, ponerla en un buzón de votación o en persona en su centro de votación local. Sepa más en vote.ca.gov. Hola, hola amigos, muy buenos días, gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde Hermosa 1470 AM, 96.9 FM, caféconlecheradio.com y aquí en Facebook Live. Les habla Lilia Galindo, me acompaña Michael Doughton y tenemos a personal de la escuela Highland High School, la subdirectora Lisa Simonian y Christy Chacon, que es la coordinadora de un programa que se llama Servicio Público. Así es la Academia del Servicio Público. Okay, we are going to continue now. Like, what percentage of the students graduate from Highland High School? Like, they really finished. If you can tell us about the last year.
Oh, you mean how many?
Yeah, like how many people?
How many in the
80%?
senior class finish?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
How many in the senior class finish?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea, more or less?
We had about 700 graduates last year.
Ah, good. Well, that's a large graduating class. Was that close to 100% of the senior class? I know that's a difficult question to answer because there's so much transiency in the Antelope Valley that it's very difficult to even calculate what the percentage of graduates are, because in any given class, in any given year, you deal with about 30% transiency, which means 30% of the kids you started with in September are not with you in June. And so it's hard to say because they go in different directions in different places to say, okay, the senior class, this many graduated, this many didn't, because the chances are the ones in September that didn't graduate may have gone somewhere else and graduated.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to say.
Okay, well, 700. Se graduaron 700 estudiantes de la escuela Highland High School del año pasado. Lo cual es un buen indicador. Así es que si ustedes están en esta escuela, pues aprovechen, amigos, hay un montón de programas y es una escuela de las más prestigiadas en el Valle del Antílope. Now we are going to go with Christy. Christy, tell us something else. Now that you don't be so quiet.
you were asking such great questions, I wanted to just leave you to do so.
Well, I have another great question then.
Yes, sir.
You used to have, or I knew that you did at one time, had a cybersecurity program. Is it still?
Yes, I
Go ahead.
believe that was taught by the computer science,
Uh-huh.
by a computer science teacher. And although they are not doing cybersecurity at this time, I know they are working on other computer science programs to offer kids through clubs and other organizations. I'm just not really, I don't know all the details of that program, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bueno,
But one thing I'd like to say about our program that I'm not sure if you are aware is that all of the students who are in the academy are cohorted. So that's a really special thing that's provided to the students. So what that means is if a child chooses to be in the academy starting in their 9th grade year, which is when the that's when you can join the academy, is your 9th grade year,
Right.
they will have the same history, the same science, the same English classes all the way through. And so by the time the students make it to their 12th grade year, the relationships that are bonded between this group of 300 or so students is really a small community feel. And it's really quite special to be part of and to see happen.
Great. And the reason why I was asking that cybersecurity connection is that that's become a very integral part of law enforcement these days. And so I was wondering if that was a major strain in your public service academy.
So we are trying to touch on topics of that matter through digital citizenship and providing digital badges and things of that nature for students to complete along their path in the Public Service Academy, absolutely.
Bueno, la pregunta de Michael era si se incluía ahora seguridad, que ellos tenían antes un programa de seguridad cibernética, donde se instruía a los jóvenes cómo detectar fraudes, ¿no? O personas que trataban de meterse en tu computadora. Y dice que ahora lo que se ha integrado es una clase de ciencia de computadora que incluye bastantes cosas más que eso. Entonces, ya no es tan específica, se está diseñando un programa de tecnología en computadoras más avanzado que incluye más aspectos. Y Michael decía, bueno, pues es que esto ahora está muy interlegado o muy interrelacionado con la seguridad pública, porque ahora pues muchos de los crímenes que se cometen es a través de la computadora. Y bueno, entonces están dos programas diferentes, pero lo que sí nos dicen es que ahora lo que se hace es que estos estudiantes tengan mucho tiempo juntos, comparten todas las clases juntos y se crea un grupo muy fuerte donde todos ellos establecen relaciones mutuas. Así es que muy muy bonito, porque esas relaciones van a durar por vida. Okay. Do you want to add something else?
I just
Christy.
wanted to take a quick moment and talk about a couple of our other programs that are related to the Academy, so the students are aware. We do have mock trials. This is a great program for students who are looking in pursuing maybe working in a courthouse, or maybe they want to be a lawyer. If you have a student who is interested in law, mock trial is an opportunity for them to work with lawyers, to work with judges, and to have a mock trial exposure through all 4 years in the academy, or all 4 years at Highland, excuse me.
Is Dana Lamont participating in that class? Do you know Dana Lamont?
I'm sorry?
I think he is, but at Soar High School.
Dana Lamont is a retired judge who is participating in this program, but in Soar High School. I thought that was in your school.
There's many judges that participate because they see value in
Yeah.
this program. So it's a really neat opportunity, and most of the high schools have it. And coincidentally, Highland's mock trial is very strong as SOAR's. And so it's a really cool program for kids who are interested.
Okay, let me translate before you continue with any other. Bueno, está hablando nuevamente de este programa que tienen, donde se hacen simulacros de de ir al juez de un caso en la corte, y dice participan jueces, participan abogados y trabajan con los estudiantes. Son para todos aquellos que estén interesados en seguir las carreras relacionadas con la ley. Puede ser ya sea de clerk en un juzgado o de abogado, o incluso de llegar a una ocupación de juez. Y todo esto es en este programa que ha sido muy exitoso. Dice, todas las escuelas preparatorias lo tienen, y tenemos muy buen nivel y mucha participación en este programa. Okay, you can continue now with any other program.
And then one other program I wanted to mention that is also related to our academy is sports medicine. And our sports medicine program is geared for students who want a career maybe as an athletic trainer, or maybe they have a high passion for sports. These students get the opportunity to wrap players, to care for their wounds on the field, obviously all under the supervision of their teacher, never by themselves. And it's just another really neat program that we have here, which has a lot of interest. So sports medicine is just another one I wanted to bring light to.
Otro de los programas que tienen, que ha sido también muy exitoso, es medicina deportiva, donde para los que quieran iniciar una carrera de entrenadores o de ayudar en lesiones que tienen los deportistas, pues eso lo pueden hacer. Sí, en estos momentos los estudiantes ayudan cuando alguien tiene una lesión en practicando alguno de los deportes que se practican en el high school. Estos estudiantes ayudan pues, obviamente bajo la supervisión de alguien calificado para tener un poco de experiencia y seguir adelante. Pero esta carrera de medicina del deporte, pues es una carrera que a muchos les atrae mucho, y para que lo tengan en cuenta en Highland High School. Okay.
You know,
And then one last,
go ahead.
One last program. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll wait for you. Go ahead.
One last program I wanted to highlight is also our engineering and robotics. And any student who's interested in engineering, building robots, anything of that nature is another really neat opportunity we have for students here as well.
Otro programa que ha sido muy exitoso es este programa de ingeniería y robótica. Este programa dice ha sido muy exitoso, y para todos los que están interesados en estas áreas de convertirse en ingeniero, incluso construir robots, pues va a ser una cosa excelente. I would recommend that you please produce a robot who can clean my house. No, for real. How come nobody pay attention to that? Can you imagine if we have somebody who do everything in our house, that we don't have to spend our time in that kind of things?
And what would you spend your time doing?
Doing more productive things, like for example, a man doesn't do any work inside of the house. Then they have all the time to think wherever they want, but we don't have the time because we are always cleaning, cooking, doing things. I really would love that somebody produce somebody to clean our houses,
Well,
and then
I
we
would
are going
love
to
live
be
in your house.
so creative. We are going to be so creative. Do you do any?
Yeah, I mop the floor. Yeah.
Well, you are the only one.
I just bought a sewing machine the other day, so I can
Well,
sew
you
some
know.
things.
Well. No, but please think about that, because we
Yeah.
need it. We
Well,
need
if you go to YouTube and look up robots, you'll see that their world is working on it.
Yeah, only the vacuum thing. Is,
Oh, no.
No,
No.
I'm so glad.
They're shaped like human beings. They walk like human beings. They just don't have the
But they don't do
same
they?
conversation. Yeah, they're working on that too, particularly in Japan.
Very good. Bueno, pues estos son algunos de los programas que están en Highland High School para todos aquellos que estén interesados. Is Highland High School only for students who live in that area, or somebody else who is listening and is interested in going to this school can go?
Students can cross-enroll for certain programs at our campus. So in that regard, it's open to people even outside of our, I would say,
that maybe live outside of our area?
Bueno, los programas dice que hay algunos donde se puede participar aun cuando no vivan en el área a la que está adjudicado Highland High School. Pero son algunos, solamente algunos programas, no todos. Si están interesados pueden llamar a la escuela e investigar si pueden incorporarse a esos programas específicos de los que hemos estado hablando.
And basically in the high school district, which is all of the Antelope Valley, students can get into programs that draws their attention. They may want to get into a medical magnet that's in Palmdale, the engineering that's in Highland. They may want to do ROTC. In Air Force is in Lancaster and in Highland. Army is in Little Rock. Navy is at AV High School. And so if there are programs that kids want to get into, they are permitted to go from one school to the other to participate in that program, either by enrollment or their own transportation, depending upon their situation and what year in school that they are. So it's very fluid. Not the same everywhere in LA County, but that's the way it is up here.
Bueno, Michael nos está hablando de todos los programas que existen en las escuelas preparatorias del Valle del Antílope y de la posibilidad de que los estudiantes puedan incorporarse en todas aquellas academias que se están ofreciendo, aunque no vivan en esa área. Y nos habla de academias de ingeniería, aeroespaciales, de medicina en algunas áreas. Así es que todo está disponible, dice, y es de las pocas distritos que te permite que te muevas a otras áreas para que puedas tomar esas carreras. Así es que esta es una cosa muy muy importante, y we are going to take our last break and we will be back. And if you have any other program, let us know, please.
The West Nile virus is transmitted by the bite of a mosquito. Some cases are so severe they result in neurological disease such as meningitis. To protect you and your family, drain all standing water and maintain or drain swimming pools. Mosquitoes are most active during dawn and dusk. Protect yourself by using insect repellents containing D-picaridin or oil of lemon eucalyptus. Birds can also carry the West Nile virus. If you see a dead bird, call 877-968-2473. 877-968-2473. For more information, visit avmosquito.org.
Hey, ¿tuviste un accidente? ¿Te lastimaste y no le has llamado al abogado Ángel Campano? Llámale ahora mismo al 661-945-5300. Él ha sido elegido por 2 años consecutivos como el mejor abogado del Valle del Antílope. Su número 661-945-5300. 661-945-5300. Ángelo Campano, el abogado en quien la comunidad confía. Las elecciones para decidir si se destituye al gobernador de California son el 14 de septiembre de 2021. Todos los votantes activos registrados recibirán una boleta de voto por correo. Así que revise su buzón, conteste las 2 preguntas en la boleta y mándela usando el sobre de envío ya prepagado. Puede enviar su boleta por correo, ponerla en un buzón de votación o en persona en su centro de votación local. Sepa más en vote.ca.gov. Hola, hola, queridos amigos, muy buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Está aquí con Michael Dutton, vía telefónica, aquí está en el estudio, pero vía telefónica tenemos a Lisa Simonian. Ella es la subdirectora de la escuela Highland High School, y también tenemos una coordinadora de la Academia de Servicios Públicos, Christy Chacon. Okay, who wants to continue? We have a few minutes only.
Thank you. Before we go, I'd love to share with everybody, this is Lisa Simonian again. We have wonderful performing arts. We have drama, choir, band, and you'll see our marching band and our flags and all of that at our games on Friday night football games, which is pretty fun. We also have a great way to welcome students onto our campus. We have our link crew, which helps put on our freshman orientation and welcome students and also students who maybe, I know earlier you asked, are students allowed to register or come to school throughout the year, and they can, and if they're new and they need help getting integrated into school, definitely our link crew and our ASD help students get familiar with schools, get a tour, feel integrated, and help them find their place here on our campus. Our ASD also does a lot of different events throughout the school year with Spirit Week and different assemblies to really help encourage students to get involved and just have fun while they're at school as well.
Perfecto. Nos recuerda que también tienen una academia de arte, y también de donde se instruye también acerca del drama, de algunos instrumentos musicales, también de marcha, y por supuesto tenemos un programa que cuando los estudiantes son nuevos en la escuela se les da toda la orientación para que se sientan cómodos en el nuevo ambiente. Dice, así es que cuando cualquier estudiante llega tenemos este programa que les ayuda a hacer la transición entre el nivel escolar en el que estaban antes a este nuevo, donde las cosas son diferentes, para que ellos se puedan sentir cómodos y puedan además actuar sin ningún problema. Okay. Do you know, I just wonder, we are having we have to vote for the removal of the governor, and now do you teach them, students, that how important is to vote in any election? Is there any class that teach them that tell them how to register to vote and all that kind of things?
We actually do have it. It's part of our classes within social studies. We learn about the importance of voicing your opinion and voting and how. We also do registration drives here on campus. So we do informational. In fact, one's coming up as part of the national registration, voter registration. So students, even as early as 16 years old, learn about pre-registering to vote, and those, of course, that are old enough to register to vote learn how to and the importance about voting.
That is really good.
Very good, very good. Now, I had a question about your academy cohort. The cohort is generally a 9 through 12 experience, and the students transition from grade to grade together, so to speak. Is there an opportunity for students outside of the school to join a cohort? Say a student, they get the preliminary coursework done at another school and they want to join your hospitality, public service academy. Can they get in there in their 10th or 11th grade?
So that's a great question. We actually allow enrollment up through the 10th grade. Once they hit the 11th grade, they haven't done enough years in a row to be considered academy graduates. They need to have so many sequential courses. But yes, 9th and 10th grade can enroll in the academy because they will have an intro course, a concentrator, and a capstone.
That makes it difficult for somebody to... Well, they have to be enrolled in your school then at that point. They couldn't drive from one school to the next.
If we have students that are interested in the academy who do not currently attend Highland, we do direct them to the district office to do an open enrollment packet. And after the students have completed an open enrollment packet, then we try to help them get into Highland so that they can go part of the programs that they really want to service. But what we found is the biggest challenge between getting students, or the biggest challenge we've come across, is students aren't aware that programs of this nature exist. So we try very heavily to promote to the middle school, so by the time they're coming into their 9th grade, they have a direction of where they can go for the interests that they have.
Very good. Bueno, estamos hablando de dos cosas. Primero, le preguntaba yo si, vamos a tener elecciones el 14 de septiembre, si los estudiantes en Highland High School están recibiendo información acerca de la importancia del voto y que hay que votar en todas las elecciones. Y sí, este concepto va incluido en los estudios sociales. Se les enseñan sus derechos como votantes y también se les ayuda a que se registren. Dice, de hecho hay un programa que se llama Registro Nacional para Votar, y los estudiantes desde los 16 años aprenden que se pueden registrar, y ya hasta que tengas 18, pues vas a ser capaz de votar. Y luego lo que Michael también preguntaba era de si puedes estar en una academia y a la mitad de la academia cambiarte a otra de las escuelas para participar. Y dice que ellos lo que recomiendan es que los que se entran a una academia se incorporen desde el 9º grado y hasta el límite del 10º grado, porque si se incorporan más tarde ya no van a poder lograr todos los créditos para obtener el reconocimiento de esa academia. Entonces lo que se recomienda es que se incorporen, ya sean en el grado número 9 o en el número 10, para que puedan terminar en su academia con los grados que se requieren. We have only 5 minutes. Something else that we haven't asked you.
Well, is there something else you want to say that you want the public to know about your school and your programs?
I was trying to say that.
I appreciate the opportunity for having us on the show this morning. I feel that we've been able to really share about a lot of the different programs that we have here and how our students are able to become a part of the school, and that there is something for most of our students here. And if there's something new, for example, if there's a club that we have a group of students who would be interested in, it's a wonderful opportunity for our staff members to support them, our teachers, our advisors, and it's really wonderful to see how well the students get along with the teachers and the wonderful rapport that exists here.
Bueno, también nos quiere hablar de la oportunidad de pertenecer de todos los estudiantes a los clubs, que los hace sentir más integrados y más confortables y entender exactamente qué es lo que hace la preparatoria. Well, Lisa, since we have a few minutes, could you please tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I've been a high school administrator for quite a few years now. I want to say probably, this is my 3rd year here at Highland, and I was an administrator for about 2 to 3 years prior to that. Prior to that experience, I was a high school counselor for 14 years, focusing on helping underserved students gain access to university admission as well as career and technical education. I helped support and open different programs at schools both here in California and in the state of Nevada. And I've also worked for the Cal State University system, helping to get underrepresented students into higher education through the Cal State University system.
Very interesting resume. Mira, ella ha estado como subdirectora por 3 años aquí en Highland, pero antes fue consejera por 14 años, en lo que se dedicaba para ayudar a los estudiantes para que fueran admitidos en las universidades, orientarles en qué eran los requerimientos para que pudieran tener acceso a educación superior. Y lo ha hecho en el estado de California y también en Nevada. También trabajó para las universidades del estado de California. O sea, un excelente resumen para ayudar a los jóvenes. What about you, Christy?
Yeah, I was about to say, how about Christy?
So I have worked for the Antelope Valley Unified High School District for 10 years. I have been at Highland now for 5 years. Prior to this, I was a 22-year paramedic. I still work as a paramedic, so that's what keeps the content the students learn in the classroom relevant.
Mm.
And I have been the academy coordinator here at Highland for the last 4 years.
Congratulations. Bueno,
Ooh.
ella ya ha estado aquí.
And you're a practicing paramedic now.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. That's what weekends are for.
That's, well, there is a question I have for you then, Madam Paramedic, and that is, how has the COVID, particularly the Delta strain, impacted your work on a regular basis?
The COVID strain as a whole has impacted my work on every level, from how we clean an ambulance to the type of personal protective equipment we wear. everything has changed, and honestly, for the better in some perspective, because we're seeing a dramatic drop in other communicable diseases like the flu and things of that nature that we're no longer being exposed to because we're wearing masks and we're taking these extra precautions.
Bueno,
Very good, very good.
let me translate really fast because we don't have any more time. Estamos hablando con Christy Chacon. Ella tiene 10 años de experiencia en Highland High School y luego dice que 22 años como paramédica, 5 años en Highland ha estado como la coordinadora de esta academia de servicio público y 22 años ha trabajado como paramédica. Todavía trabaja en eso, lo que hace que sea una excelente persona para ocupar esta posición porque tiene experiencia real. Y luego nos está diciendo también, le estaba preguntando Michael, cómo les ha afectado con el COVID trabajar como paramédicos. Dice, absolutamente en todo. Cambió totalmente la manera como trabajamos, dice, incluso cómo limpiamos las ambulancias, cómo recibimos a los enfermos. Dice, totalmente se ha transformado esta área. Así es que, pues muy interesante. Dice, ahora ya no tenemos que preocuparnos tantos con la gripe porque ya pues nos cuidamos más, usamos las máscaras, nos limpiamos a cada rato las manos, pero pues ha sido un cambio totalmente diferente. Well, do you know, do you want to add something else?
No, I want to thank both of you ladies for giving this information this morning about Highland and Highland programs. And I'm hoping that our listeners will be able to benefit from what they've heard about the school and maybe even help their kids or maybe some kids that are listening, help them determine what it is they want to do in their future.
Lisa and Christy, thank you very much for your participation on Café con Leche. We hope to hear from you soon again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.